Welcome to Dakota Preparedness. In this video, I'm going to go back to the basics. One of the things that I've noticed from a number of venues is that there is a lot of new people who are starting to investigate and implement actions for emergency preparedness. Now, one of the most fundamental things, perhaps the first step beyond just educating yourself, is to have a 72-hour kit, also known as an emergency preparedness kit. It is a collection of basic supplies that will sustain you and your family for up to 72 hours, 3 days, in the event of an emergency or disaster. Now, you need to be flexible on that. I recall when I did live in South Dakota, it was quite common. Several blizzards a year would come about, and they would last 3 days. But there was a few that went 4 and 5 days. So depending on your exact situation, even this first step you may want to expand. Now, also I would add, it is not a 72-hour bag. It is a 72-hour kit, which means, yes, you might want to use a hiking bag to store it in, your equipment, but you might also want to use a plastic tote or a cardboard box. A major issue is if you're going to bug in, you're going to stay where you live, which in 99% of the time, that's the right choice. It really doesn't matter. You're just trying to organize your emergency supplies and gear in one place. Now, if you have to walk more than a mile, yes, a hiking bag is highly recommended. Now, let's get into some of the essential items that you should include in your 72-hour kit. Now, two things of paramount importance is water and food. Now, FEMA recommends 1 gallon of drinking water minimum per person. So you're going to need 3 gallons of water for each person. Now, a more advantageous amount of storage would be 3 to 5 gallons because you need water for hygiene needs. But within the water category, staying to the 72 hours and planning for just my wife and I, so 2 people, I would highly recommend having 2 water bricks. They each hold 3.5 gallons, so you would have 7 gallons. A gallon of water weighs 8.3 pounds, so at 3.5 gallons, they're still very portable. They have a spigot, so you can set them up on a counter and use it like a faucet. So, water bricks, 2 of them. Number 2 is you've got to have the ability to obtain additional water and to treat suspect water that might not be drinkable. So there's a rule in preparedness called 3 is 2, 2 is 1, and 1 is you're done. So I highly recommend some redundancy. So have a Sawyer water filter. A mini will cost you $25. And then have a backup with a Sawyer water bottle, which will cost $35. Now, one of my observations of why I think a lot of people are getting involved in emergency preparedness, it's starting to get hard to find water filters, or at least find the brand name that you want. But it can still be done, particularly on Amazon. So get out there and get 2 water filters. The next item that you need is food. And for 2 people, we keep it all in a plastic bin. We keep 20 meals in there, although theoretically you just need, 3 times 3 for 3 days, so you need 9 meals. Plus, for 2 people, it's going to be 18 meals. But I put in a couple more meals in there for snacks, plus some protein bars. And also, I highly recommend you have your favorite drink, whether it be coffee, tea, apple cider, hot chocolate. It can be a real morale builder. In regard to your food supply, you're going to need a cooking system One is just a pot to warm up the water with. I like a World War II canteen cup. The one depicted here is a replica that works, but is not near the quality of the original World War II canteens, stainless steel ones. You'll then need a stove. The one depicted here sells for $17 and can work with both ISO-Pro and the 1-pound propane bottles. Finally, you'll need some fuel. This small tank here costs $15. The next category is first aid. You want to have several different items here. One is you want to have a basic first aid kit, perhaps a hiking buddy first aid kit, $10 at Walmart. You need to have a couple Israeli bandages. You can get a 2-count on Amazon for $21. These will take care of major wounds. You also want to be prepared for perhaps a pandemic. You can now get N95 masks, 20 of them, from a brand name like 3M for $10. You also should have some surgical gloves, the non-sterile ones. And you can get a 100-count for $14. So you want to have those in your first aid kit. Now, also you need some medications. You want at least 4 over-the-counter drugs. One is Advil, Tylenol, Benadryl, and Imodium. The Imodium is for diarrhea. The Benadryl is for allergic reactions. Also, they usually calm people down, and they also will help you get to sleep. Those are some off-brand uses for Benadryl. And Tylenol will help take down a temperature and will help with pain relief. And Advil absolutely will help you with your pain relief, or at least that's been my case. I share the story of when I hiked the El Camino, the 500-mile hike pilgrimage in France and Spain. For the first 5 days, I lived on Advil. I hurt everywhere, but after 5 days, I started getting stronger, and by 14 days, I felt 20 years younger. So have those medications. Also have a separate bag for any prescription medicines you have so you can quickly locate them, and if you had to bug out, you would know where your prescription medicines were all in one place. Next is it's important to have certain sanitation and hygiene products. Have some toilet paper. Now what I'm showing here is a 2-count of some biodegradable toilet paper. Amazon, $3. Now, if you want to make substitutions on this or anything else, it could make sense. So if you just want to take a couple rolls of regular toilet paper and put them in a gallon sandwich bag so that it'll stay dry, that's just fine. Next, you will want to have some towels. Now, if you think you're going to go mobile, a microfiber towel is excellent. They're small. You can get them on Amazon for $12. They absorb a tremendous amount of water, and they will wipe the water off your skin, and you'll dry very quickly. So this is a well-known secret among the hiking crowd. Next is you're going to need some dental kit with a toothbrush, some floss, some toothpaste. Now, what I'm showing here, you can get a 3-count for $7. Now, I found the exact same thing. The last time I visited the dentist, they gave me what I call a dental bling bag, and in that was one of these. So I didn't pay anything for my dental 72-hour kit. Next, you're going to need a sandwich bag with several bars of soap in it. And finally, have some wipes that if you need to clean up real quickly, you can. Now, clothing and bedding is vital. Now, what I do, I have a Sea to Summit bag, an 8-liter bag. They sell for $26, and I put a light pair of pants, light shirt, and some undergarments and socks in there, and then you roll it tight and it will stay dry. Me poncho, but if you want to just have a raincoat, that will work. Also, these fleece blankets that you can obtain very economically. It's amazing for such a light blanket how much heat that will retain. Now, a little side secret. If you have children that have a special blanket, our granddaughter called it the Blinky, aka her blanket, is try to have a duplicate of it in your emergency equipment. We would have a duplicate of her Blinky, her blanket, so that occasionally we could put that poor thing in the washer and get it cleaned up. And in the meantime, she was using the duplicate Blinky. So just a little tip for small children. So those are some of the key clothing and bedding items. Also, you will find emergency blankets, very inexpensive, as little as $3. So for a small space, you can have a lot of functionality there as far as keeping you dry and also keeping you warm. You want to have a flashlight. Matter of fact, this is once again an area where you want some redundancy. So I recommend the Petzl headlight. You can get those for $24 and have two of them. Or if you want to have one headlamp and then have a flashlight, that makes a lot of sense also. And it's amazing the quality you can find now in various headlamps and flashlights at a very economical price. I would highly recommend the Nebo, Nebo brand from Walmart, or it sells at Walmart. Have a battery powered or hand crank radio. A NOAA weather radio can keep you informed of important weather alerts and emergency information, and you can attain those for as little as $32. And they will also have the regular radio channels. Have some cash on you. You need to decide how much, but I would say at least several $100s, and have it in 1s, 5s, and 20s. You don't want to be trying in the middle of an emergency to buy something small for a $100 bill. Have a cell phone charger. These are essential items for us nowadays. So have the charger cord and have a battery pack. This particular one from Amazon is a pretty high-end one at $42. Have some paper maps of your local area. In my own case, much of my county is national forest, so I went to the U.S. Forest Office and bought the topographical maps of the area that I live in and the surrounding areas. But if you need be, just have some road maps, although sometimes they're starting to get hard to find because people are so reliant on their GPS system. Now, some special additional things you might want to consider. One is have a pair of work gloves. I recommend the Mechanic brand, and you can get those for $23. If you want to have a fixed blade knife, I highly recommend the Gerber Strong Arm. Also consider special needs for pet food and supplies if you have pets, including food and supplies for them to last for the 3 days. Have a fire starter. A couple Bic lighters is fine, with maybe some matches. Also have some black garbage bags, 3 or 4 of them. One is you might want to set one up for any trash that you're creating. Also, a little trick you can do is you can place one in the top of the toilet. Yes, so it's over the seat, and then you sit on the bag, which is sitting on the toilet seat, and then the bottom of the bag is in the toilet bowl, and you can do your duty and take the bag out if you're in a situation where you can't flush the toilets. Also, I call them universal camouflage. If you're on the move and you put your supplies and gear in a garbage bag, what does it scream worldwide? There's garbage in that bag. That man, that person doesn't have anything of value for me to mug them or rob them. So it's a camouflage. Also, you can use it to carry things in, regardless of the camouflage aspects. Also, you perhaps will be lockdown situation, self-imposed if there's an emergency. So have some books and games, something to keep you busy, especially if you have small children or small grandchildren. And ensure that they have a way of keeping busy. Now, one thing with small children, you might find that Kim lights, the little lights that you snap and then it lights for 12 hours or so, can be very comforting for them, especially at night time. So you might want to have some of those on hand. Another thing that you want to have is a can opener. Now, on Amazon, you can get what's called an Army P51 can opener. You can get 8 of those for $8, and they're very efficient. However, if you're not able to have the hand strength to open a can with a P51 or the smaller P38, get a regular can opener that has a lever which you twist. Also, kind of an unusual thing, you will definitely want to have some utensils, a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Now, a convenient way to keep this all together is what's called a K-bar utility or eating utensils, which I call a hobo knife, where it's basically a pocket knife with a fork, a spoon, and a knife on it. And I was surprised at the cost of these now, $45, but they are very quality and they're very helpful. We have 2 sets of these and we bought them many years ago. So feel free on all of these items to use substitution. It's functionality that counts, not some brand name. But you do want a quality item. In reviewing this, I saw one video where the person presenting their 72-hour kit had the cheapest flashlight in the world. No, it's just going to break. Get something quality for your flashlights and definitely for your water filters. If you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe. It helps the channel and it helps the community. Be prepared.